Okay, moving on to physical cameras. I just created a really simple scene based on primitives, and I've added a physical camera in the same way we added the target and the free cameras before. So just as I said about the number of options you have here and things that you can change, it's much more complicated. Definitely more controls. First of all, we have the basic controls right here. When this is ticked, it means it basically behaves as a target camera. So it has a target box right here, just as a legacy target camera. Then in the physical camera rollout, we have the film sensor preset, and the default one is the full frame one, but then this can be changed, and as you see, it changes the focal length. So we'll just stick with a full frame for now, but we can specify the focal length value, and it will drastically change as we saw the perspective of the object. Then we have the zoom. Let's go into the camera perspective. And let's see the zoom in action. But as you've seen, it doesn't change the camera's position, which is nice. Let's go back to perspective. Then we have aperture. Let's go into the physical camera. This will affect the exposure and also the depth of field. Then we have the focus. Use target distance is ticked, and this is the default, and uses the target distance as a focus distance. And then if we choose custom, then we can actually change that. But we just stick to use target distance. And then we have enable field of view, which kind of creates that blurring and out of focus fade in the distance. Moving on to the exposure part, the thing that it's really more interesting is the white balance group. So this kind of sets the color balance in terms of a standard light source, and you have a few templates here. And then there's the temperature if you want to use that instead. You can see the color right here changing, so this is really warm. Let's see if we can actually get to render the, let me go back to physical camera, and I'll just render this. You'll see how red it becomes. Of course there's no light in the scene yet, but if we go back to something that is colder, that becomes whitish. There's also a really cool effect. I'm sure you've heard about this, and there's in Photoshop and Illustrator and After Effects usually have this. Not sure whether this is going to be noticeable because everything is black. So yeah, but we're gonna use these controls when we're actually rendering. There's a lot of other controls that you can play around with, but I think that for now that's more than enough.